Yo, what's up, guys? I'm going to be giving you guys 5 tips today on how to start out streaming on Twitch TV. This is a question I get asked a lot as a full-time streamer. A lot of people see me, they know that I do this full-time for a living. They see that this is my job. This is how I pay my bills, is by playing video games. And people want to get in on that, right? Like, it makes sense. That's the dream for most people who play video games. They would love to do that, right? But I gotta tell you, it is tough. Most people that start out do not make it anywhere. Just to give you guys here, I actually have some numbers. Twitch has over 2 million active broadcasters and only around 17,000 partners. That pretty much goes to show you that a lot of people that start out streaming don't really make it very far, right? Or they just quit shortly after. I'm gonna be giving you guys 5 tips though to help you guys get started and help you guys get past that initial hump of difficulty and get you to, the point where streaming can be comfortable and fun. Okay, so tip number 1, game selection. This is probably like the most fundamental way that people find streams on Twitch, right? Like, generally speaking, if someone's trying to find a new streamer to watch, they'll go to Twitch, they'll go to the game they want to watch. Say they feel like watching, I don't know, Fortnite is a pretty good example to use right now since everybody wants to watch Fortnite these days. They'll go to Fortnite, they'll see a list of streamers, right? And they'll just click on one. And the list of streamers is in order by viewer count, right? This is why Ninja is so big. Ninja's at the top of the directory of Fortnite all the time. If anybody wants to watch Fortnite and Ninja's live, they click on Fortnite. Ninja's the first name they see, they click on it, right? And that's really important no matter what game. Obviously, Ninja's an extreme example, but no matter what game it is, that's very, very important. You want to try to be high in the directories and you can't be low. So as a new streamer, you're going to have 0 to 5 viewers, like maybe 5 if you can manage to get some of your friends to come hang out, or if you open your own stream on some of your devices around the house or something. I don't know, you'll probably have between 0 and 5, right? So you literally cannot play a game like League of Legends or Fortnite or a game like that and expect to grow. It's just not going to happen. You're going to be so low in the directories. There's going to be hundreds of streamers above you. And no one's going to scroll past hundreds of streamers to find your stream. They're going to just pick somebody out of the top, or even if they want to get to the lower numbers, they'll probably go to like the mid 50s or like the mid double digits. So it's just not going to work, right? So as a brand new streamer, what do? You have to find a game with very few streamers, right? Like very little amount of streamers. And even though there might not be a lot of people watching those games, anybody who does want to watch it will have way more of a chance to find you. For instance, when I first started streaming, I played Final Fantasy X. It's an old game. That game is probably like 10 years old now or something. I don't even know. And that game is probably my favorite game of all time. So I just went and played it on stream. There was maybe 4 other people streaming it at the time. So I was one of 5 streamers. That means anybody that clicked on, like, if anybody just decided that day, hey, I feel like watching Final Fantasy X, they click on the game, there's like a 1 in 5 chance they pick my stream. That's much better odds than I would ever get on a game like Fortnite, right? And I got a lot of people that way. I got a lot of viewers, right? And same goes with any game. If you want to go play an old Silent Hill game or whatever, like whatever you want to do. Keep in mind, this changes as you grow. Depending on your size of stream, how many regulars you have, what your average viewer count is and all that, it obviously changes. But a general rule of Twitch, if you want to take it seriously and grow, is you want to play a game that will, you'll be somewhere in the directory where you're going to get noticed. Obviously, I'm not telling you to play a game that you hate. I'm not saying like, don't play any games that you like and go play a game you hate because it's good for streaming. But I also think that if you care about your stream's growth, you might not be able to play a game that you might want to play like Fortnite, right? You might just have to put that dream aside and go play something else that maybe you want to play as well, right? Anyway, on to our second tip, providing worthwhile content, which I probably should have worded better, but I don't really know how else to word this. So sure, I guess providing worthwhile content. All right. Basically, you need to, like, once people do get into your stream, right? Like, if you follow my first tip and you're on a game where people click on your stream, once they're in your stream, they need a reason to stay. The best way to do this would be just to be entertaining, right? But that's also really hard. Like, if you're someone who's just naturally hilarious, like, for instance, look at like TimTheTatman or something. He's a pretty good example to use. He's just naturally hilarious. The guy's ridiculous. He's hilarious to watch. If you're just that funny on the regular, people will just come in and hang out and watch your hijinks or whatever, right? But again, it's not easy to be that entertaining. A lot of people can't be that entertaining at all. Like, some people just aren't naturally that funny. And other people, like, other people maybe are, but they just, aren't used to streaming enough yet to do it. You know, it's something you get better at as you go on. So don't stress about that too much early on. I would say as you're just starting out, just make sure that you're not silent. This is like the biggest mistake that I see new streamers make. I'm someone that browses directories of like really low view count streamers. I'm the kind of person that I'll go check out 1 to 5 viewer streamers. You know what I mean? I'll always go see like what they're up to, how they're doing. You know, like, and the biggest thing, the biggest mistake I see is I'll join a stream and they'll just be sitting there silently playing. They'll just mind eyes of the screen, playing the game, not even talking or saying anything. If I join a stream and no one says anything for 30 seconds, I'm leaving that stream. I'm out. I don't have a reason to stay there, right? And so will anybody else that comes. You need to be saying something. And this is like the hardest thing I know. This is probably the tip that I can give you that's probably the most important. It's so hard as a new streamer to talk because your chat's dead, right? Most people like rely on their chat. They'll interact with chat and stuff, but your chat's dead when you're just starting out. So it's hard. But you need to just commentate on something. Pretend you have 100 people watching you, right? Talk about the game that you're playing. You know, if someone just killed you, call them a bitch. All right, well, maybe don't do that. Be friendly, but you know, say something. Say something. Talk about what happened to you earlier today. Tell a story. You know, do anything. Just be talking. That way, when someone does click on your stream, they'll hear you talking, and then they have a much higher chance of saying something to you. You know, saying hi. You can talk to them. They'll get to know you. Bam, they're a regular, right? That one person that joined your stream that would have normally left if you were silent is now talking to you. Now they're a regular. They'll come back tomorrow or the next day. And, you know, as you get more people like that, your community starts to grow. And that's basically the gist of growing the community, right? And keep in mind, there is like one exception to this rule, which is basically if you're just a god at a game, right? Say if you're like the absolute best player at like a certain video game. Say if you're the absolute best Overwatch player in the world or something. You can probably say not a single word the whole stream and probably still get a lot of viewers because, you know, people will watch you for skill. But you have to be basically the absolute best. And it's also really stressful. And I feel like you're better off just talking. You're better off just talking. I don't know. I wouldn't bother with that. Just think about what you would want to watch as a viewer, right? And then try to provide that to your viewers. That way, obviously, they have something worthwhile to watch. All right, the third tip. This is the one I probably suck the most at, but it's networking, okay? Networking is so important as a streamer. So important. If you guys don't really know what I mean by networking is basically making connections with people, getting your name out there, and just generally making friendships and connections, you know? Probably the easiest and the best way to do this as a Twitch streamer is just to support other Twitch streamers, right? Like, a good example I could use for this. All right, I've been streaming for over 2 years, yeah? And there's a lot of people that have been hanging out in my stream for the whole 2 years. You know, whether they're there every day. And for the record, when I say support, I don't necessarily mean financial support. I'm not saying you got to dump them all your money. There's plenty of people that watch me that have never supported me financially, right? Because they probably just can't, or they don't want to, or whatever. But they've been watching my stream on and off for like years, right? And if I see those people then streaming myself, I'm way more likely to support them. I'm like, oh man, I know that guy, you know, and as well as me, also my community, you know, I've seen people from my community decide they want to start streaming. They'll instantly get 10, 12 viewers just because they're so known in my community and they're so friendly with everyone in my community that those people already want to go watch them, right? As soon as they find out they're streaming. I mean, that's kind of an interesting example because that takes years, right? But still, it's the same general concept. If you get your name out there, you get known, you know, people like know about you, they're way more likely to click on your stream. And now I don't want you to go to people's streams specifically to try to get people to your stream. Like, that's silly, you know? And for the love of God, do not ever go to a stream and ask the streamer for a host, or even like mention your own stream and be like, hey guys, come watch my stream. I'm live right now. Because that's so fucking rude. Like, literally so rude. Don't do that, for the love of God, please. As a matter of fact, just don't ever support somebody expecting support in return. That's just generally a terrible way to live your life. Support people that you like and, you know, be active in their communities or whatever. And more than likely, you're going to get support in return. Like, don't expect it, but just it will happen is what I'll tell you, right? Other ways to get out there networking is stuff like social media, right? Like being active on Twitter. You know, Instagram, any of that shit. I'm really bad at all of that. I hate social media, to be honest with you. I try my best at it, but I'm so bad at it. But if you can do that as well, you know, like if you have a popular tweet or something, you know, people see it, they see your name, you know, later on down the line, they're browsing a game directory, they see your name as a streamer and they're like, hey, there's that guy that, you know, I saw in that tweet, or there's that guy I saw in that streamer's, you know, chat who was being friendly, or, you know, if they recognize your name, they're much more likely to click on you over anybody else in that directory, you know? That's kind of the idea of networking, is just getting your name out there, getting your name known. All right, on to tip number 4. Consistency. This is another one that's tough for new people, because I know, like, not everybody can just jump into full-time streaming and be like, yeah, whatever, quitting my job, being a video game player for a living now, right? That's ridiculous. But if you can, like, say if you're working a job that has a schedule, or, you know, if you're unemployed or whatever, if you can manage to stream at the same time every day, that will do wonders for your stream, right? If you can't, then I guess disregard this section. You should still be trying to do what you can for this, and you should still be striving to get this, but this isn't something everybody can do, right? But okay, look at it this way. Picture your stream like a TV show. Say, like, if I have a favorite TV show, say, I'll use an example, American Dad. I love that show. It's hilarious. Say if a new episode of American Dad was on it every single night at 7 p.m., you better believe I'd be there at the TV every night at 7 p.m. You know what I mean? Because that's my favorite show. That's how viewers are with you. If you're a viewer's favorite streamer, you know, if someone finds you and they're like, oh, I love this guy, I'm gonna come back, you know, and watch him or her. Sorry, I don't judge him or her every day. You know, they'll come back at that same time that they know you're live. You know, if you're streaming every day at 7 p.m., if they know you're gonna be live at 7 p.m., they'll come back. They'll be there at 7 p.m. every day, right? So this is really important, to be consistent. This helps you so much with getting people returning to your stream, getting people there every day. It does wonders for your numbers. If you're streaming at random times, like the middle of the night one day, in the morning the next day, taking multiple days off and then coming back again, no one's going to know when the hell you're live. It's going to be a lot harder to grow. It's tough. Just be as consistent as you can, you know, like work it as good as you can. It's not going to be perfect early on, but do your best. Do your best. All right, and that brings us to our last tip, which is getting good equipment. This is kind of a weird one because, like, I don't want to tell you to spend a bunch of money, right? Like, you shouldn't be spending, for instance, like this microphone that you're looking at right here is like $500 plus, like, my whole audio setup is probably like $1,000. Don't do this. For the love of God, don't do this. This is overkill, okay? When you're first starting out streaming, you don't want to dump a crazy amount of money because you don't know whether you're going to stick with it or not, right? You don't want to just waste your money, and you don't really need it, right? You don't really need this when you're first starting out. But at the same time, I do firmly believe that you need something more than like a really bad quality headset mic. You know, if I join a stream and they're talking through like a Turtle Beach headset microphone, like a $10 headset with a mic or something, and it just sounds like staticky nothingness, I'm just going to leave. I'm not going to stick around that. That's awful. It's terrible to hear. It hurts your ears. It's terrible. So try to, if you can, again, this isn't for everybody. If you're totally broke and you have no means to do this, then sorry, work with what you got, I guess. But if you have the means to dump a little bit of money into it, try to invest in at least a good microphone. Your video quality is important too. You should probably try to have good internet. You should probably be trying to stream at least 720p, like 2500 bitrate-ish. You know, like maybe more, maybe like slightly less, but that should be around your goal. But like audio quality is honestly the most important. If I could make a recommendation, I would probably recommend, if you have like a couple $100 to throw around, an AT2020 by Audio-Technica. The USB is really good. Blue Yeti USB, also very good. They're about $100 each. If you have a little bit less, if you don't quite have that much, like Blue Snowballs are pretty good. I think those are around $50, but I'm not sure. I'll have links for these below the video, so you guys can just check them out there if you want. But yeah, this is super important, guys. If you people are joining your stream and the audio is terrible and they can't understand you, they can't understand anything, they're gonna leave. This is right up there with providing worthwhile content, to be honest. You got to do it. You got to at least have something decent, otherwise people are gonna get turned away, right? All right, that's it, guys. Those were the 5 tips. The basic formula to growing a Twitch stream is basically just getting people into your stream and then getting them to stay, right? That's basically it. These 5 tips help you out with that. They get people in, and then they give them a reason to stay, and then you slowly build. Keep in mind, guys, as a last closing statement, I just want to tell you guys that streaming is fucking hard. When you're first starting out, it is so difficult and demoralizing, and it's tough. It's so tough. I can't stress to you enough how many times when I started out, I got on, I was playing games, I would look over at my chat, the last message would be from like 2 hours ago, and I'd be like, oh, there's no one watching, there's no one chatting, and it's hard to stay. But I'm telling you, you have to. If this is really something you want to do, you have to try your best to stay, keep your morale high as often as you can and stay talking. That way, when people do join, you know, you're there and happy and having a good time, and they're more likely to stay, right? And keep in mind that growth can be slow and it can also be explosive, right? I've had explosive growth where I've grown hundreds of viewers at a time. Then sometimes I've had growth where, I'm stagnant for a long period of time. So just stick with it. If you really enjoy it and you follow these tips, it's something that eventually you'll grow. You'll grow a community of awesome people that are like you, and you'll get there if you just keep grinding. So, thanks everybody for watching this video. That's going to be it for me today. If you guys like the video, feel free to sub to the channel. I'm going to be providing more stuff like this. Hopefully, if you guys enjoyed this anyway, I'm going to be providing some more stuff like this. I might go into more detail on every single one of these tips in future videos. We'll see. I don't really know yet. I don't know what my plans are. But thank you guys all for watching. I hope you guys can use this to help yourself grow. And good luck out there, guys. It is tough. It is very tough. So good luck. And I'm getting out of here. See you guys later. I'll see you guys. I'll see you.